Hey guys, God's Woodsman here for you today. And today I'm going to do a video on what cutting tools do I recommend that you use in the woods. And I've gone through a lot of different ones. This is not even all of them, but this is just a few different ones that I have gone through just to kind of give you guys an idea. So this is what we're going to be reviewing coming up. Hope you guys all stay with me. Okay guys, first of all, we'll talk about axes. So we'll leave the knives off to the side. Even though this isn't an axe, I'm going to put it in there with it. This is just a throwing tomahawk, but for a long time this is one of the things I always carried. And overall, I would say it's a really good tool to take when you're in the backcountry. It does have some limitations, like for one, to split with this, it's very difficult to split with, just because it's a very thin blade. I mean, you can see it's very thin. There's not much of a wedge. It's really nice for some light chopping, not splitting, but just some light chopping and stuff. Small, very small stuff, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of cool looking. Blast the Mohicans kind of a thing, but practicality, not really. This is not even the original handle. I actually broke the original handle off of it, but a tomahawk, it's a cool idea. In practicality, it's not real good. It's good for small stuff, but a lot of that stuff, I either use just my bush knife or just a saw. So it kind of ended up being one of those things that it looks cooler on the wall than it does actually taking it with me. So that was something I ended up not using very much. I did make a sheath for it, which in another video I am going to go over making sheaths if you ever want to know how to do that, but I think it looks better on the wall than it does as an actual, it makes a good ornament, wall ornament, than it does an actual practical axe. The other one is, for a long time this was the axe that I used, and I never can pronounce this, Fiskar? I think Fiskar is the technical, how you pronounce it, I think. Somebody, if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure you'll be happy to tell me in the comments below. This, I've heard a lot of people complain about these as not a very good quality axe. I will say I was pretty hard on mine. I was not gentle with it at all. I was pretty hard on it. I did end up making a sheath for it. And overall, it was a pretty good axe. I mean, I thought this was a really good axe. I mean, I was like, wow, this is a good axe. It's sharp. It keeps decent edge. I didn't have any problem with the handle breaking or anything. And I mean, I'd pry with it and everything. Now, I thought this was a really good axe. And then, about almost 3 years ago, my wife bought me a Gränsfors Bruks small forest axe. And before I even used this thing in the mountains, and I'd only just taken it out of the package, I could tell that this was a serious tool. Just the way that the handle is, just the feel of it, the weight of it, the way, it's just like, whoa, that is a tool. It's balanced right, it's got a nice sheath. I have heard some complaints about the thickness of the leather. I'm not sure what the deal is. This is sufficient. I mean, that's the same size leather I put on my knife sheaths, and I've never had any issues. I mean, unless you're planning on trying to chop through your sheath, this is plenty. But once I got one of these, I would never go back to this. I mean, not a chance. This is heavier. This is bulkier. It doesn't chop as well. I don't even think this splits as well, and it's even got the additional. It's got a little bit thicker wedge on it to make it so it splits easier. I don't know if you guys can see that. Hang on a second, I'll zoom in for you. So it's even got the little bit thicker slabs on the side, which makes it quite a bit heavier. But I mean, you can just look at the two of those side by side. Let me zoom in for you so you guys can see a little bit better. You can see both of those. There you go. Oops, hang on. Let me get you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. And I mean, it is amazing how much better this does, how much thinner this is before it starts getting thick. And this is more like you feel like you're using more like a wedge to try to cut down a tree. And this is just so much better. It's lighter weight. This is lighter weight in the field. You could put an emergency handle on it fairly easily. I mean, this is a nice axe. I will tell you they are a little bit more expensive. I think right now on Amazon they're going between $110 and $150. So they're definitely not, it's not a cheap axe. It's a very high quality axe. If you were planning on, you go camping twice a year and you do almost very little with timber or cutting down trees or anything, I wouldn't get this. Unless you just want unless you can afford it and you just want a nice high quality Sweden made tool. But I mean, these axes are absolutely just amazing. They do require a little bit of maintenance, just like anything else. Sharpening them, it does keep an amazing edge. I showed in another video that I actually nicked the edge with a rock. I went through the tree and hit a rock. About brought me to tears. But I was able to get it out a little bit of time, and I showed that in the video how to do that. But it is just awesome tool, awesome Christmas gift my wife got me. I'd been wanting one for a long time, but never wanted to spend that much money. That's what Christmas gifts are for, right? But highly recommend it. And this is the small forest axe. I think it's about 2.5 pounds overall weight, but serious tool. The only thing you really have to do for maintenance-wise, I sharpen mine, and then I also wipe this down with linseed oil. And if it's been wet, I will just give this a light sanding, and then linseed oil on the handle. And I usually try to put linseed oil on the handle. Probably not as often as I should, but I probably do it every couple months, maybe every 3 or 4 months. Just wipe it down with linseed oil, and I've showed in other videos how to do that. A little bit of leather polish on the case, on the sheath for it, and you're good to go. This one, on the other hand, if the handle does break, you're screwed. Not a whole lot you can do with it. You're just kind of screwed. So that's why I go with the Gränsfors Bruks. And these are not super cheap. I mean, a decent one of these is like 30 or 40 bucks. So I think they make a pretty decent axe. Is it a Woodsman's axe? No. It doesn't they don't give you a sheath. It's like a plastic bulky thing. It's more like something you'd use for car camping, which is actually a pretty decent place for one of these. Stick it in your car. That way, at least if in an emergency or you need to cut down a tree or something's across the trail, at least you have a car to get out of if it's an emergency. Not something you have to depend on. So this makes another nice wall ornament. It's about all it's good for. Now, we've talked about axes. So this is the axe that I use. Boom. Awesome axe. Love it. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. If there's one axe that I would recommend, it would be that one. Now, knives. I have showed you in other videos this knife. This is my God's Woodsman knife. And I make these myself. I don't make very many of them. I'm most likely in 2016, I think I'm going to make a few of these. Probably between 2 and 4 of them. And then probably sell them on my eBay channel, eBay store. But I'm only going to make 2 to 4 of them. I am not planning on making very many of these. It's a very long process. It's a lot of fun, but anyways, this is the equivalent of a custom-made knife, handmade custom-made knife. If you can't afford something like this, because these are anywhere from like $200 to $500, depends on who the manufacturer is, so they're not cheap. You can't afford one of those. The next knife I would recommend is probably the Mora. They make really good knives. This is their stainless steel version, but they also make a high carbon steel. I actually got this as I use when I'm in the tropics as a dive knife. Just that way it doesn't get quite as rusty as what the carbon ones do. It doesn't hold quite as good of an edge, I don't think, but it's a decent knife. And especially for the price, these things are usually under $20. For the price, you can't get a better knife. In my opinion, they're awesome, especially for bushcrafting and survival. So, and I have heard people, and I've even, when I first started doing survival and bushcraft, I went and got me my Rambo knife. Now I'm ready to go. I got me my Rambo knife, Problem is, it's a really nice knife, and I like it, and it's really good, and if somebody was going to try to attack me, I would probably want this over some other things. But just as an all-around knife that you're going to carry around all over the place, I've seen people think that this is more practical, and you can do more with one of these than what you can with, because it's kind of like it's kind of like having an axe and a small knife in this big knife. I don't know. As soon as I went to one of these knives, and I went to a bush knife, and then this kind of started not being around very much. I just always seemed to leave it at home. And then I went to an axe, and I never picked this up again. I left it next to my bed for in case somebody came inside my house in the middle of the night. I didn't want to shoot them. So, I don't know. If it comes down to me, I'm not going to take a large knife because I still cannot do the same kind of work with this that I can do with this and this. This is, the two of those together are heavier, but not by a lot. I mean, a little bit heavier. This is a pretty serious knife. This is the Tops Anaconda knife, and it's a sweet knife. I mean, I love it. It's an awesome knife, but I don't know. I'll do some more videos on it, like, cutting tests and chopping tests and all that stuff. Because it's an awesome knife. I've had it for, 15 years or something. But I always come back to this, because you can pound steaks with it in. You can split logs with it. You can, you could do almost everything you can do with this. You can't do some of the finer carving, but there's no substitute for a really good axe. It really isn't. And this is the little bit smaller one. It's a nice size to stick in a backpack. But, I don't know. I always come back to these two right here. So, if you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys have, tell me what you thought of this. Did you like, do you want to see more videos on the big Anaconda Tops knife? If you think that's a really cool knife, you're like, whoa, I want to see some more stuff on that. Leave the comments down below on what you thought of this video, what you thought of the knives, which ones are your favorite. Tell me your 2 favorite knives down in the comments. Would you rather have a knife and an axe, or just a knife? Or do you like the tomahawk? Is that kind of your thing? You like to carry a tomahawk? Last of the Mohicans kind of a thing? Knife and a tomahawk? Or do you really like the Fiskars axes, and you just think that the new technology is way better than the old school? Leave your comments down below what you guys think. If you're a new watcher and you enjoyed this video, please also give it a big thumbs up, and also click the subscribe button, and I will put it right here. So click right there to subscribe. So all you guys, also guys, please share this video. Put it up on your Facebook, your Twitter. Share them. I want more people to see these videos. I want to help more people. Thanks guys. Have a great day.